Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Star Trek lab. This is the 17th video. Have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been discussing that we will create a group policy to add every Active Directory IT group for every spaceship. This group policy will add every Active Directory IT group for every ship added to the local administrators group in every workstation in the ship itself, okay, to have full control over the PCs in the ship. For example, if we have this group Active Directory group called clone nx02 underscore IT, this is the group of IT in the Columbia ship. This group will be a member of the local administrators group in every computer in the ship of Columbia, okay. We will do this for every ship in our Active Directory. Let me show you also. For example, this is the graph. So here we have our Star Trek.local domain. We have the Starfleet command center, and we have a ship, okay, under every Starfleet command. And this ship, every ship will contain an Active Directory group for the IT. It will be a member in the local administrators group for every PC in the ship. We'll do this for every ship. Why we are doing this? So we can make the IT have full control over the PCs in the ship, okay. And by the way, the Starcom IT group, this is the group of IT in the Starfleet command center. This group, it is a member of the domain admins, so it have full control over all the PCs in all of the ships, okay. Let's consider this Starfleet command to be the main branch office and the ships to be the branches, okay, of it. So the IT in the main branch have full control over the PCs in all of the branches, okay. And the IT of the branches, or every IT group in the branch, will have full control over his computers in his location or in his ship, okay. So we have done this in the previous video. We have created the group policy, and then we have created another group policy to restrict every user in every spaceship to access their computers only in the ship. How this is also is discussed. We here, for example, have the Columbia ship, and we have the computers in the Columbia ship. We will let only the users in the Columbia ship to access the PCs in the Columbia ship. For example, if we have a user in Columbia ship, he will not be able to access computers, for example, in Deep Space ship. And for example, if we have a user in the Enterprise ship, he will not access computers in the Deep Space ship. So every group of users in every ship will access only their PCs in the ship, okay. And this group is called all species. We have a group called all species in every ship. This all species group contains all of the users in the ship, okay. So we have done this in another group policy, okay. And we need to test this group policies on a virtual machine that had joined in the domain. So we have stopped in our previous video. We have created a virtual machine and we are installing Windows on it, and then we need to join it to the domain and test the group policy. So we have stopped here at configuring or installing the Windows. So now it is already it will be installed. So we will continue from what we have stopped the last time. It is here we have, or we are installing Windows. So now after that we need to join it to the domain. Here we are just doing the initial or the out of the box experience, just answering some questions. and here what I am doing here, I'm getting to the setting of this virtual machine, and I need to make sure that the VLAN is correct, because if I am not putting the correct VLAN, it will not take an IP range of 192.168.2.0 network, because this network, it is on VLAN, on the switch on VLAN 3, okay. So this is the VLAN, and then we need to go to the MAC address, actually, because I need to take this MAC address, or this MAC address, it is in the allowed filter in the DHCP, and why we are doing, or why I'm putting this MAC address in the allow filter in the DHCP, to allow this PC to take IP address from the DHCP. And we need to make this MAC address static, because this MAC address will be changed every time the PC or the virtual machine is closed or powered on and off. So we need to make this static, because we have already added this MAC address in the allowed filter in the DHCP. So if this MAC address is changed, this PC will not take IP address the next time the workstation is powered on and off. So we need to make it static and fix this MAC address to this virtual machine. Okay, so we need to do this after powering on and off the machine. We need to or what we do, make it static. We need to power it off and then go to the setting and make it static and then power on the machine again. Okay, so this we will do it. So here if you go to the allow filters, okay, in the DHCP, here we can see, for example, that still here is the allow filter. So here what we'll do, we need to add a filter and put the name of the machine and the MAC address that we have seen in a couple of minutes. So we'll do this now. So by doing this, we are allowing this machine to take an IP address from the DHCP, and it will take IP address from the range of 2.0, because it's this range, it is on VLAN 2 and VLAN 3, and our virtual machine is also on the same VLAN, so it will take from this IP range. Okay, so now I tell him a new filter. We just need here, because the other or the new virtual machine, its MAC address is similar to this one, but it's not 31, it is 32. So we will add it and then we'll change it to 32, and then we will add the name of the machine. So by doing this, we are telling the DHCP to allow this machine with this network card MAC address to take IP address from the DHCP. Okay, okay, if we didn't do this, the virtual machine will not take an IP address, and we will not be able to join it to the domain. Okay, so this is the name of the machine. Okay, so we need to add it. Here you go. I just change the name. And after doing this, the DHCP will give it an IP address. So after that, we can join it to the domain. So here we need to make it static. Remember, here we will give what's going to use. We will create another administrator account. So remember that there is a default administrator account on the PC. It's called administrator. So we have an account created by default when you install Windows. This user is called administrator. It has full rights on this PC or this Windows operating system on this PC. So it is disabled by default, by the Windows 10. So we need to create another or a second administrator account, and we name it Kera of Wahed. And the administrator or the first administrator account that is disabled, we need to rename it to any other account, just to make it more harder on hackers to know it. So we need to rename the administrator account that was disabled by Windows and make it any other user account or any other name, and create another or a second administrator which called Kera of Wahed 01 or Kera 01, and then next. Then you put a password. And confirm the password. And this is the secret questions that will be asked. If you forgot the password and you need to retrieve it back, you need to answer 3 secret questions, and this and if you provide the correct answer, he will give you the password. Okay, so now I'm just doing or rescaling my resolution, or rescaling my resolution of the screen. So now it is correct. And then we make some personalization. We need to put this PC icon on the desktop and the control panel shortcut, okay, or icon. So we'll do a couple of or we will make some icons appear on desktop. So we need to have the computer icon appear on the desktop and the control panel and the user files, okay, and then apply and okay. And then we need to join this PC to the domain. So the DHCP, it should take an IP address, but I need to get more quicker here. So just a moment. Sorry, we'll go there, okay, and sorry, we'll get it here, okay. So sorry again. So let's see here. So here we will right click, okay. So after it has took an IP address, we need to go to the properties, okay, and we'll tell him, okay, we'll tell him to change setting and join this PC to the domain. So change setting, and the firewall, okay, here is it. And then we tell him to change here. I have disabled the firewall by default, but I will open it back. So this was a mistake from me. So we will open the firewall because I have disabled it by mistake, but it is opened by default. So now we will change, okay, and tell him we need to join this PC to the domain. So we tell him start trick.local, and then okay. Then he will ask for a username that is responsible or have the authority to join a PC to the domain. So this is care of, this is my domain admin account, and then okay. And then okay. Need to restart, okay, and then see this PC join the domain. Restart now. Now we will see if it has joined the domain. We will see the welcome screen. If we make Control Alt Delete, then we see that Star Trek welcome message domain, okay. Then we will access it by a username, just to make sure that I can access. This is my domain admin account. We need to test the group policy to see if it is working or not. If we can access the IT of Colombia can have full control over this PC in his organizational unit, or also, and we need also to test if the one of the or the of any user outside of Colombia ship can access computers in the Colombia ship. So we'll see that now in a moment. And you will see also, or we will test the DFS network map drive. You will see that we will see both the Colombia ship DFS naming space mapped, and all ships DFS naming space shaped. DFS naming space. All ships DFS naming space mapped already. So we'll see that now in a moment. So we can go further. Okay. So here we can see that the PC, okay, or the name of the PC is there. This is the login script. And if we go a little bit further here, we need to, what we will do, we need here to we need to see the local groups here on this workstation to see if in the local administrators group the Colombia IT are added to this group. We said before we have a group policy to add every IT group in the local administrators group in every workstation. So we need to test this and see if they are added or not. So we'll right click this computer or this icon and tell him manage. So we will go to the by doing this we will go to the local groups and users on this PC. Okay, so here we can go to local users and groups, and then users groups. We can see that in the administrators, first in the users here we can see that the domain users are there. Still this is not we need to go to administrators. Here we can see that the Colombia IT users are added in the local administrators group, and the domain admins are added also to administrators group. So that means that our Active Directory group policy, or the group policy in the Active Directory, it is implemented, and the Colombia IT are local administrators on this PC. So this is correct, or our group policy it is implemented. We need to test and see if, for example, I get a user from the Deep Space Nine ship, will he be able to access the Colombia computers? We'll see that in a moment. Okay, so here I'm just referring again that the Colombia IT are added and the domain admins are added. And this is the users. I think we can pass it real quickly here. We can go there. We will restart. Okay, we'll go there. I think I'm going to the Colombia group policy. Okay, just need to revise something. So here we'll go to the group policy again and go to the Windows setting, go to the security options, and then the local security options, and then Control Alt Delete. It is disabled. And the user rights, here we can see that we have these three. These are the or allowed, or this is only the allowed 3 groups that can access any machine locally on the Colombia ship. Okay, so this is correct. I'm just revising the group policy. So here this is it. So I think we need to I was revising something, so let's go there. So here we will log in again. So I have restarted the machine and I will log in again with my user account. So I'm just revising everything. We need to check or to see if any user outside the Colombia ship can access PCs in the Colombia ship. So here I'm logging again with my account. So here we need to check or get a user outside of Columbia ship and let it access the PC in Columbia ship to see if he will be able to access or not. So here, for example, I take a user from the Deep Space Nine ship, okay, from the crew, okay. I will take a user and try to see if we'll be able to access this workstation, okay. So give it a password. And we'll try this user and see if it will be able to access the machine. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Here I'm checking the group policy or the local group policy of this machine to see if the restricted groups, okay, or we can see that the restricted groups or the all species, Columbia all species group, are allowed to access only PCs in the Columbia ship. We will check this from the local group policy. So I am now checking the local group policy on this workstation to make sure that our group policy is applied. So here we can see, for example, that the department shares or the all ships DFS, it is mapped already, so we can see this, and this is my user home folder. So my user home folder option is working. Yeah, here we will eject the Windows. Here if we go to the local group policy and we go to the security setting, we will see that our group policy is applied. So here we go to the Windows setting. This is the local group policy. I repeat, this is not the Active Directory group policy. This is the local group policy for the machine. If we go to the security, and then we go to the local policies and then local assignment. Here we can see that allow login locally. If we go open here, we can see that only Columbia all species group are allowed to access this PC. So our group policy is implemented correctly. So it is implemented. This one for restricted a certain group to access certain PCs, it is implemented, and for the local IT to be in the local administrator groups also it is implemented. So we'll test also this one. So we'll now log off and try to, or sign out and try to access this PC with a user from Deep Space Nine ship, okay. I will give here a note, but just put it into consideration, because it will not be allowed to access, but there is two reasons for this. I will discuss it with you all, so just wait for a moment. So here we will log in with the user. Here we will type R. This is the one from Deep Space Nine ship, a user from Deep Space Nine ship. So when you access, it's telling us that sign in is not allowed, okay. There is two reasons for this message to appear. First of all, remember that I have, or this ship or this workstation, it's called clone NX02DU engineer 01. This is a robot, and you remember that I have restricted the access to robots by certain users in the Columbia ship. by putting them in the workstation login option in the Active Directory user. So remember that in a previous video I have limited some users in the Columbia ship to access certain computers in the Columbia ship. One of them is, for example, I have a user called Engineering Artificial Intelligence Active Directory user. I have restricted it to only access engineering PCs. So this is one reason why this message appeared, and the other reason is the group policy that we have been creating, or we have created in the previous video, that we have restricted access to PCs to only users in the Columbia ship only, or on the Columbia ship or only users from the Columbia ship to access PCs in the Columbia ship. So there is two reasons. One, that I have limited a certain user in the Columbia ship to access certain PCs, and the other is I have limited the users of Columbia ship as a whole to access the Columbia ship's computers as a whole. Okay, so this is one we need to test it thoroughly, because maybe this is not the reason, or the reason why, or this is not the reason that we have applied our group policy. Maybe it is because I have limited a certain user to access certain PC. Okay, so this is we need to test it thoroughly. Now we will access a user from the Columbia ship. We have a user, or we will log in with a user from the Columbia ship. So we have one user, for example, James Kirk, or we will access a user. Okay, so here we will see, for example, the Columbia IT. So here we have one of the IT. Okay, so we will access the machine with one of the IT users, and we will see that we will have full rights on the PC. So now we will access with the Columbia Artificial Intelligence IT admin or IT user, any one of them. So we will reset the password to test if this IT will have full rights on the PC, because he is the local administrator group, or we can access it with James Kirk user. So we'll see that in a moment. He is not an IT, but he is a user from the Columbia ship. So let's see if he will be able to access the machine, and then we will have also a user from the IT. So we will test both group policies in one step. We will access a user from the Columbia ship to see if he will be able to access the computer in the Columbia ship, and we will access an IT user on the Columbia ship PC to see if he have full rights on the PC as a local admin, of course. Okay, so now we will first log in with the James Kirk user. So here he has succeeded, so that means that our group policy is working correctly. So here we can access with any user in the domain, or sorry, any user in the Columbia ship will access any PC in the Columbia ship. Okay. So here we can see that James Kirk will see his home folder, user Active Directory home folder, and the old ship's DFS mapped drive, and the Columbia DFS mapped drive. He will see an M and N and his user home folder. So you will see the three. Okay, and when he will access it, what he will see the global level share. Okay, so this is also a test for our DFS. So we can now create any file in it. This is good, and you will see all departments. Here you can see also the global, so you will see two DFSs, one for the all ships DFS and the other for the Colombia DFS. Okay, and this is the bioship. This is my user home folder. So now let's test and see if we access this PC with an IT. So if you access it with an IT user, first of all I need to put a quota on the DFS of Colombia ship. So we will go to there and DFS2. Okay, and then we will put a quota to be 10 gigabytes, so the shares of the Colombia ship will be limited to 10 gigabyte. So now we need to log off of the machine and log in with an IT user and see if we will be, or if we given the rights of a local administrator, because the IT group is added to the local administrators group. Okay, IT admin. Okay, so here it's preparing it, so let's go further here. So okay, and then we'll open it here. So here we can see that the IT also have seen two departments. Here the user home folder is missing, so there is a problem. I need to check it. But here also he will see two DFSs, one for the old ships and the other for the Colombia. If you open the Colombia, he will see the IT folder. So if you open it, here we can see that he see the IT folder and the global level ID, and the same applies for the Colombia. Okay, the Colombia shares, you will see the IT and the global. Okay, and then if we try to see if we will right click and manage and see in the local groups, or we will see that he can have full rights over the PC, because he is a local administrator. He is a member of the Colombia IT group, and the Colombia IT is a member of the local administrators group in every PC in Colombia. Okay, so here we can check and see. Here we can see that he can access, okay, he can have every access, or have full access on the PC, so he can do everything and anything. Okay, so he have full access. If we try to log off from this user and access with James Kirk and try to access the device manager, he will tell us that you are not allowed, because we are not a local administrator, we are a normal user. We will see that now in a moment, but here I can access the device manager. So I have, or the only one that can access the device manager, it is the local administrators. Okay, so now we will try and see what we will do if, or what will happen if we try to access the device manager using the James Kirk user, which is not a member of the IT group of Colombia ship. Okay, he will tell us that I am a standard user and I am not allowed. So that means that the IT admin account, or artificial intelligent IT admin account, he is a local administrator. So now we try to access this, for example, here. Okay, again. So what we will do, try to right click and tell him manage. Okay, this is a normal user, he is not an IT. So when he tell him manage, he will tell us that the device manager here will tell us that we are a normal user. I am a standard user, so James Kirk is not an IT, okay, so he will not be able to see the device manager. But remember that the IT admin was able to access the device manager and can see all of this because he's a member of the Columbia IT group. So that means that both our group policies are successful and they are implemented. Okay, so this is the end of our video. In the upcoming video we will begin configuring a second domain controller, which will be also a second DHCP, or it will be a failover DHCP, and also it will contain a file server, and we will configure our second DFS server also, or a second DFS partner. Okay, we will see that in the upcoming video. So hope this video was informative for you all, and would like to thank you all for viewing. So I think just this is it. Okay, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much.